Record. Okay, good to see everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. Okay, so as we do here, just taking a little time out, or time in to look at our troubling thoughts, troubling feelings. Often starts with feelings, feeling upset, like something's difficult, something's disturbing. Noticing that response to life, to the world. So just noticing, noticing the feelings, noticing where the mind travels as you kind of consider what's been bothering me so that we're not denying that it's there or trying to just distract from it or turn away from it, although those are all wonderful human ways of reacting. We're looking closely, just wanting to understand how it is we're seeing that thing. And if there's another way to respond. I like how Byron Katie says, do we really want to know the truth? So it doesn't matter what, so just first allowing all the, welcoming the difficult sensations, feelings in the body, disturbance, disturbance in the force, just noticing that occur, welcoming it in, allowing it. Maybe if welcome is not quite the right word, allowing it. It's there it is. Can't brush it away, distract it away, maybe for a little while, temporarily, but it won't last. So just first, acknowledging being with this disturbance. And if it looks like a lot of things are disturbing, just let them all be there. Just, there's this and this and this. We often use that word overwhelming, overwhelming. My boat is sinking. All the emotions are going to drown me. Those old boating terms of English. And that's okay. So just seeing there was one situation, one incident that you notice definitely bothered you. That thing happened or something occurred. Somebody said something. It doesn't matter how small, large or small. And just letting that come up to the bubble up to the top. Noticing the image. The mind is so amazing. It can see things so vividly that aren't even here anymore, that you saw yesterday or in a conversation last night or 40 years ago. So just allow one situation to appear. And just notice as you sit with it, as you recall your response to what happened in the moment. And then there's this response still underway as you're seeing that picture of what happened. And see the meaning that you're putting on this incident or this situation. So I'm upset because, and sometimes there's a lot, but you just see what looks like the crime, the wrongdoing, or the thing that looks like it caused the disturbance. All was well, and then any great story starts that way. It was a beautiful day, and then, and I know these things look they feel very serious and very deep in us. I just see, so this thing's happened, and just see what your simple thought is. I sometimes like thinking of it as in a childlike way, what more sort of primitive in a way, like just what's because feelings come in so quickly. So, you know, what did he mean by that? And just see what I was afraid of, what what looked threatening there. And if you could articulate it and put words on it, I mean, just the most simple. What do I want instead? Just letting yourself just really spotlight that one situation where it felt the most concerning. I like picking a situation or just being very, even though it looks like there can be many, many situations lined up, lots of evidence. It's nice to pick one so that you can have an anchor for your mind to go back to measure up against, like as we're looking at the data. It's making meaning of all this information that's being taken in, experience. Oh, I'm upset because I'm just noticing a simple statement. And if you're going all the way to, I feel like it's a little bit down the line of a statement about yourself. I'm upset because I am reacting. Well, yep, you're already reacting. So what happened prior? Like, you might be upset because you're reacting. That's all okay. But what was the thing that caused a reaction? So look at that. What happened in the apparent outside world? What was going on out there? And I like that Byron Katie just invites us over and over again to judge what doesn't look like you. Nothing wrong with judging yourself, but everyone judges themselves and everyone wants to do the work on themselves. But look at that just pairs up with first having looks like something's dangerous or threatening or difficult that's happening out there. Larry.
Uh, she didn't want to be with me.
Mm,
And the other part of that is I just could not make a difference.
okay. Yes. And that's a good one for noticing the thing I just said. So it's like something's going on that I find disturbing, and then I need to make a difference, and then I can't make a difference, kind of in the flow of, you know, events. But um, yeah, yeah, some something in me thought it needed to make a difference. And so why was that? Like what was happening there? Or is that because she didn't want to be with me? Or was that separate? It's different situations. You went on mute.
Sorry, she didn't want to be with me. No, it's all one situation. She didn't want
Okay.
to be with me, and damn, she just didn't want to be with me, and I knew I could not make a difference. So, yeah, I had all
Okay.
kinds of reactions to that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, very good. So I love that. Let's get just kind of drilling down into it. She didn't want to be with me. Yeah. All right. Anyone else want to share their one-liner? Cindy.
I'm upset because she doesn't listen to me.
Uh,
Same as Larry.
yes. She doesn't listen to me. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yvette.
He can't take no for an answer.
Ooh, she can't take no for an
Yeah.
answer. The good one. Mary.
Um, Alice doesn't care what I go through.
Doesn't care what I go through. Okay. Paul.
This software is being forced on us.
Ah, okay. Good one. Milda.
It might be that I'm dismissing serious illness. It
Mhm.
might be that I'm dismissing, like not going to check. I'm dismissing serious illness.
Okay. And like I said, totally no problem having what I'm doing. And then prior to that, it looks like there's a serious illness, right? I mean,
Yeah,
just
like the symptoms arise during the night and then anxiety kicks in.
yes. Okay. So these symptoms are serious, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
might be serious. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, good. Krista.
I'm upset because he doesn't see possibility for resolution.
Good one. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else want to share a one-liner? You can put it in the chat too. We use the chat here. Myra, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Um, he's disappearing.
Ah, okay. Great. Very simple. So
Mm.
simple. And then, of course, whatever it means that, yeah, and that means,
Yeah. It's like he's disappearing. There's nothing I can do.
hmm, yeah.
I'm powerless.
It sounds like he's disappearing and he shouldn't. I don't want him to disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and I think it's great to start with the simple fact, he's
Mm.
disappearing, but just noticing there's some things that, I had ants and then they're disappearing. I'm happy they're disappearing. There's no problem. So,
Mm.
yeah, in this situation, I'm disturbed that he's disappearing. And that's all I need. And but just noticing, I'm putting meaning on this disappearance. And right, it's
Yeah.
good to see if he's actually disappearing or not first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, good. All right. Very good. Okay. So Lori shares, the world outside my door is unpredictable and I freeze. It means I can't handle unpredictability. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Unpredictable and freezing, maybe like just looking and the sensation or the feeling with it is lack of safety. Same thing. Sometimes people love unpredictability because then it's not boring or whatever. It's entertaining. It's very interesting. But in this situation, Karen, nobody loves me anymore. Nobody loves me. All right. Okay. So everybody just write down or have, maybe you borrow from somebody else's, you take one of these and say, oh, I believe that's no new thoughts, so I'll just take that one. But if you've got one of your own, great. So just notice the thought, and we're going to look deeply at it. It's so interesting. If the mind is telling a story, I just notice with my mind, it's just assuming, let me tell you what happened, and it's just assuming that it's the case. And so we just want to look because this was painful. And it doesn't mean it didn't happen, and to question this, our thinking doesn't mean we're condoning it or saying it was fine that it happened, or we shouldn't be thinking anything that we're thinking at all. Doesn't mean that at all. It's just looking more closely without just presuming immediately. All right. So just hold your situation in mind. Picture that moment. And notice your thought. Sometimes people like to have it written down because it's funny. The mind goes all over the place. Wait, what am I questioning? What am I doing? I think of it as a meditation. All right, so you see that moment, see the situation when it felt the most disturbing, if you can find that. And see if your thought is true in this situation. Is your thought true? So let's hear what goes on in somebody's mind. What'd you find? What's your answer? Larry.
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, she ultimately was with me,
Hmm.
but I always had it in my mind reluctantly.
yeah.
But
How
I
do
don't
you
know if any of
know?
it's true.
Yeah, that's so good. It's like just watching the mind go like, hmm. So what's your situation? What's the moment when you thought, oh, she doesn't want to be with me? Like, what's the evidence?
Well, I was with you
I love
last
it.
week. We were in this group,
That is so funny.
and there was a guest facilitator. He paired us up into breakout rooms, which I'd never done before. I went to the breakout room, and I'm there alone. And I actually texted or chatted, "Help! I'm alone here." And then all of a sudden, you came up, and I thought, "Oh shit!" We were going to practice
Yes,
facilitating.
yes.
And I thought, shit, first of all, I was alone because you were thinking, I don't really want to do this with Larry. Who the hell is he? So, and then I didn't have that thought till I saw you did come in, and oh God, and then I'm like, I can't do a goddamn thing here. I'm no facilitator. I mean,
That is so great. That's
I
so funny.
can't. There's nothing I can do. I mean, just so
Yeah.
that was the moment.
And it sounds like it got sparked when it was just silence
Yes.
first. Like it started happening when just emptiness.
Yes.
Nothing's there. Very good to notice. So like silence means, you know, uh, she doesn't want to be with me. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I love it. And I love your answer is I don't know. So it's a no. Can I absolutely know it's true? No. All right. Great moment.
I'm afraid to ask you. So don't tell me.
I'll tell you later. All right. Paul, how about you? Your answer.
Mine is a yes.
Okay. So what's
Yep.
your moment? They're forcing the software on you.
So the top dog has decided we need to use this program to put all our data in. The rest of the hospital has decided, no, we don't want to do that, but they had a meeting and we still have to do it, even though it's not going to accomplish what the whole purpose of this for paying for the software.
Ah, ah.
And the point was last night when I was talking to my manager who said, yep, we're still doing it. We're hoping they'd talk him out of it. Go, yeah, that's a waste of money, which it is. But yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you've got some knowledge of the actual software. You've pieced together things, and then the word forcing is great. It's just it's
Yeah,
getting
we don't have
forced.
a choice.
Yeah, no choice. All right. Okay. Anyone else? Did anyone else have their hand up with is it true? And of course, then is it absolutely true? Is it the absolute truth? If you had a yes, is it absolutely true? Milda.
Fun thing that I notice that I'm having these symptoms when I'm anxious and when I'm not. When I'm anxious, they feel much more dangerous when I'm calm.
Ah,
So I don't know. That's that.
good to notice. Yes. Yeah. And I love that I don't know. Then it's a no. You know, I can't absolutely know it's true. I don't know. All right. Mary.
Well, I had a yes. And then in terms of absolutely, I got a no because I thought I can't really know where the caring in another person resides within themselves. Like
Hmm.
we can be very defended against many things, and like actually caring can make us run from things. And um, yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't know. It's a little bit of like recognizing that, all right, so this is my partner, and really I don't know. Like it's a complete mystery what
Yeah.
what
Yes.
another human is, or what they go through, what they feel, think, etc. So I just felt like I really don't know whether she cares or not.
Yes. What was the
Oh, she
moment?
cares.
What was the moment that had you think, oh, worrying or wondering, I think she doesn't care, like that your mind.
I've had the thought many times related to my migraines, but this was a particularly bad scenario with what I think was like a food poisoning episode and then migraine on top of it. And then she arrived home and I was still in pretty bad shape. And then she's doing what I sort of cynically call is out courting the neighborhood on the lake. Like I just felt like she was just desperate to get out there and connect with some people who are out there.
Mm,
Um, and
mm,
that's sort of like all she cares about right now are things related to the house and the neighborhood.
mm. That's great. So the
So yeah,
evidence you have,
it's like my migraines are old news, very boring. That's kind of it's like yeah, almost don't blame her, but it still was kind of like it just felt bad. I was not in great shape, and I
mm,
felt like she doesn't care. And I almost feel like it's my fault that she doesn't care, but
Yeah.
I still, yeah, it was just,
Yes. And
yeah.
it sounds like the evidence too is she just off she goes. Like
Yeah, I
wait.
could just tell where her energy and interest was in those getting to know those new people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's just so good to see these human interactions and then what the mind starts assuming. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Moira.
Yeah, I had a no. I mean, the situation is from years ago when my partner collapsed, and I could see that he, like, I could see his eyes sort of glaze over, and something just went.
Hmm.
And I walked over to the telephone saying, I'm phoning for an ambulance. And as before I could pick the phone up, he'd come back again. So mine was a no. I mean, the thing is, he did actually die about a week after that.
Hmm.
But if I'm really honest, like in that scenario that I'm rooting in, he's disappeared. I mean, and then there's other reasons why you could say it's a no, but I think that was what my no was that actually, if I'm really rigid about being in that scenario, he wasn't disappearing, he came back.
Ah,
Some part of him heard me say I'm going to get an ambulance, and he just
yeah.
kind of revived.
So interesting because it's kind of like for if you stopped the situation on the part where he's fading out, you might
Mm,
say, yes, it's true.
mm,
But then he came back and so in a way, I would like even move to the moment when it's fading out and just stay right there. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's what's interesting. Can you absolutely know it's true? I mean, you just see what your own answer is. Can you absolutely know it's true? He's disappearing, like prior to the coming back.
Maybe he's disappearing isn't quite like he's leaving. I think it's more like he's leaving,
Yeah.
not accessible in the way that he has been, because I feel him around all the time, but so I don't feel like he disappeared. I don't have that,
Mm,
but
very good.
he's leaving. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This physical, this situation, this being able to talk and chat and just, yeah.
Yes.
So maybe he's disappearing, but it's kind of interchangeable, really. But that's,
Yeah. Very interesting, though. The form is changing.
mm,
You're not entirely sure if he is disappearing because you have him in your mind and heart. I don't,
yeah,
can't absolutely know it's true. But the form is changing. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's, I don't really know if it's a yes or a no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said a no to start with, but it's kind of,
Yeah. Well, it's just getting very, very close to it. And it sounds like it's still I don't know, like the body, yes,
mm,
the body. And sometimes that's very interesting. The body's disappeared. Looks like
mm,
the body has disappeared. The body is disappearing. Maybe it's a yes for that one. But then we get to still see what happens next. That's why I love you just start with the question, is it true? So much can
yeah,
come out of that. But now, like, what am I putting on this? What do I notice I'm assuming or saying about leaving or disappearance or that kind of thing?
mm.
Yeah, very powerful moment. All right. Okay, it's really good. And so Karen says, I do not know. So nobody, nobody, what's your thought? I know nobody loves me anymore. I do not know. Maybe somebody I don't know loves me. Good one. Maybe I don't know what love is. Like define love is, yeah, I like the way your mind is going like, hey, wait a minute, define love. What is it? Maybe he loves me, but I can't feel or hear or see it. Good one. Yeah. So I don't know is a no. I can't absolutely know it's true. Lori says, my scenario, I'm getting off a bus at camp. Everyone runs off to set up their sleeping bags with their friends. I'm alone and overwhelmed. They're running off, doing their own thing, living their own lives, and it means they don't like me and I don't matter. So good. Yeah. Is it true? Yes. Can I absolutely know it's true? No. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Right. Everybody's doing that thing. It looks like they're scattering away. Does it really mean I don't matter? I can't know that's true either. All right. Krista says mine was a no with the second question, second time. I don't even know what resolution might look like for him yet. So the thought being he doesn't see possibility for resolution. Okay. So just noticing your answer, just noticing what's so here now. So what happens when you think this thought? How do you react? How do you react? Interesting. So what, you feel that feeling in your body. What meaning are you making of this? What images do you see? Milda.
I start feeling the anxiety and seeing people I don't even know, but I saw them on Facebook, like having cancer, young people, out of nowhere, and they were going on the spiritual path, and they were always afraid of cancer, and here you go, they have it. Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And also life starts to feel very heavy. It's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like life is so horrible. It needs so much energy to keep up with all the bad things that might happen.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. Isn't that good? Like a good example of just, you influence that just images, social media, news, incoming, just seeing something and then, oh, I'm so tired. I have to keep
Yeah.
all the bad things. Life is it looks terrible, Of course, yeah, the mind would be doing that.
It's like it never ends then in the mind, this heaviness, because it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes, and like this heaviness, like.
Yeah.
And then there is proof in my mind, which spirals anxiety even more, because it's now I see that it's the same day I got the results from other tests, which I thought will come back totally normal, as it always used to come. And it came back with some suspicious results, and I need to redo my tests.
Ah,
And that's as a proof that, oh, I thought everything is fine, and here you go.
yes.
And now you're ignoring these symptoms.
Yes.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then, of course, like from there, even all the images about what it means to have bad test results. I'd have to be assuming, I just horrible, it's a terrible thing. Life is so overwhelming, bad things happen all the time. Just noticing the zip down in that trail. Cindy.
When this person harps on me, doesn't listen to me, I freeze, I get triggered, I recede because I'm hurt, I shut down, I get defensive, I try to explain, then I overreact.
Mm. Well, Yes.
Cycle of things. And then I apologize.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's sad. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But that's so sweet to see, like, of course there's a reaction, but like just seeing everything that was going on there, I'm frightened. I'm feeling whatever they're saying or doing or looking like that they're, with me. I'm
Yeah.
defending or looking like this is dangerous. This is a threat. If
Yes.
they don't like what if they're saying they're not listening.
It is a threat. It does feel like a threat. That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just noticing, it's great to notice sometimes that even how when this thought first ever occurred to me, that when somebody's looking like this or doing it like this, what that means, what that means about me, what that means they're thinking. We're assuming what they're thinking.
Wow, I've never thought of it like this. Yeah, it goes straight back to my mom.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
something? Yes. So it just reminds me. So I've got this, imprint in my mind about my mother. And this is looking like that. It's reminding me of that situation. I need to defend.
Yeah, no, this is, thank you.
Yeah.
I got that before. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Larry.
Yeah, I added some things too based on these conversations you had. But
Mhm.
earlier I joked, I'm afraid, don't tell me the truth, Grace.
Mm. Ah,
And that's the truth.
ah,
I want you to tell me what you actually thought, but only if you tell me how great I was. But then I thought, even if you tell me that, I am not going to believe that,
right. That's right. Yeah.
because I'm just not good enough. I should have had something brilliant to offer.
Ah.
I'm useless. I'm unneeded. I'm unimportant. I was kind of ashamed. Uh,
Oh.
Cindy or somebody, I shut down. It felt so heavy. Just get this over with. How long is this going on?
Wow.
I was frightened this was a threat and kind of, comparing myself to other people who could have done better, which, again, Cindy mentioned her mother. I can see my mother in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay.
But the biggest one was I wouldn't believe you.
Mhm. Ah, yes, right.
Oh, I believe it if you said, Larry, you were a piece of shit, really. But that I probably would believe and then suffer over. But if you said, no, that was great or whatever, no, that can't be true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So powerful. Yeah. Okay. Paul.
Yeah, I agree a lot with Larry's. Those thoughts are often mine. In my situation, I think my fear is, will I be able to learn it, keep up with this new software?
Uh,
It's a steep learning curve, and also the rest of the team, the rest of the people I work with are stressed out about it, and that's getting shared around. So how can I, kind of keep that at bay?
yeah.
So
Everybody's saying it's like everybody's going, oh my God, this is
yeah,
terrible. So of
you
course,
got it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, kind of the collective nervousness about the whole thing. And that's really good to see. I have images of this being burdensome and so hard in the future, and just pictures of like it's going to be a really steep learning curve and like just that burden. Yeah.
My son, who is into this, said, "Oh, Dad, take advantage. If they're making you learn it, learn it. This new piece of software is used far and wide, and you can get a much better, high-paying job if you know it well."
Oh,
So,
who knows? Could be a turnaround in here.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. It's good to see. Yeah. Resistance. No, 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 no. Wait a minute. Moira.
Well, in that specific situation, it's like it's total it's like a feeling of complete disbelief and shock and but it's kind of hard because this was a long time ago, and I'm sort of now sitting in it.
Mm,
What do I feel now? Or, I'm obviously feeling what I feel now, but imagining
mm,
being in that situation then. So I can't be absolutely certain that what I felt then was, what I'm describing now. But it's
sure.
like when I think of it now, it's like a really in the solar plexus, and it's like a deep, deep shock, like almost like you want to vomit.
Mm,
Um, and
mm,
it's like total that can't happen. Total, like, no, I have no reference point, no, like the ground just going from beneath your feet. There's just no
mm.
sort of um nothing to hold on to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Total, almost like a total denial that this cannot possibly be happening
Yeah.
because I can't possibly cope with that.
Yeah. And it just, so much compassion for just this, the amount of fear and like you
Yeah.
words shock, cope, can't, just how the mind sees it. And that's okay. Just, even if all these years later, like, well, I guess she coped because here you are.
Mm. Well,
Um,
kind of.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think I still think I was kind of right in those initial
Um,
feelings.
uh-huh.
But yeah, obviously I didn't die.
Yeah. Yes. But like just the that attachment,
Mm,
I love just attachment, and it's okay. I don't know. It's how we are. At least
mm,
I have the same experience, as you speak.
yeah.
Yeah. So just noticing the all of that happening and all of that seeing however it sees life, and that it's so shocking and unexpected, and the rug getting pulled out and all these things falling through
Mm,
space, that I don't know where I am at. That's all right. Powerful to notice. This is what it's like when I'm seeing it the way I see it, and when I believe this thought.
yeah.
Yeah. So it never means that the thought is the wrong thought. We're never saying bad thought to have. Just
Yeah.
noticing, just noticing. Uh, yeah. In the human experience, what it's like. Okay. So thank you all. Beautiful sharing. And Yvette says, I feel tense. And it brought my father to mind as well. So good to see if this is like anyone previously, like that everything's pouring in and your mind is assuming what it means. All right. So, so who would you be without this thought, without this story? If you were unable to think this particular thought, and just imagine yourself right in the middle of that situation, kind of push the pause button. You don't have to know what you would do or how you'd act next, just the feeling inside in the moment as you're in that situation. But you weren't able to think this thought, if you weren't able to think this thought, if you weren't able to believe it, who would you be? You're still in the middle of that situation. Who would you be without that story? Larry.
I tell you what I thought of. I thought without that thought, but wow, Grace, I've always wanted to know what you work on. This
Oh,
is going to be really interesting and easy,
hmm.
which it completely was because in the whole interaction, I probably said three words. You did it all. And that would be okay. I wouldn't have to be, come up with anything. It'd just be kind of, oh, that's it, just interesting.
Yeah. Wow. So very different. Yeah. How about in the moment when there's total silence and you're waiting? Because that's that kind of
Oh,
something was coming up. It started arising right there.
well, without the thought, there'd just be, again, just, gosh, I wonder who's going to be paired with me.
Yeah. Great.
Just that, just,
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking they've left me all alone because no
Yes.
one wants to be with me.
Yeah.
It'd just be, well, yeah, just be curious, interested. Who's coming up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what happens next. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cindy.
Um, if I didn't have that thought that she harps on me, I'd be lighter. I wouldn't be defensive. And I'm not sure if this is correct, but I probably see, I don't think this is right, but if I feel attacked, I would put my arms around myself. But
Oh.
I would just like with my mom, I felt defenseless. I was a kid. Um, so I
Hmm.
always took it, and then blew up. And this is the same pattern I'm having now. I take it, I take it, I take it, and then I fall apart. So I want to change the pattern. So if I didn't have the thought,
Hmm.
gosh, I feel like crying. That's what I feel like doing.
Oh, yeah. So if something looks painful, and sometimes that's very powerful. Yeah.
It was horrible with my mom. Yeah, some of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look there at that person, and the current person who was harping on you, and then look at your mom as well, and just notice, without any, like if you're just watching them, if you were not even there and you're just looking at, kind of all of a sudden you're up in the ceiling looking down at the situation or over in the corner of the room, looking at her, yelling at her child. You just notice. So we're not in denial that we're seeing what we're seeing, but just notice that stressed person. Like sometimes I really like seeing they're really believing their thoughts.
It was like she could pick the vulnerable one. I was the vulnerable one
Uh, yeah.
out of all my sisters and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think I need to do more work on this. Sounds like,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. Yes. Good one to do that, Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. There's going to be a mother workshop coming. You might like it.
When?
Um, I just decided it yesterday, and I didn't memorize the. It's in May. It's in this month of May.
Zoom?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. So all right. So watch your inbox, and then you'll see when it's happening. Hopefully, it'll be at a time that works.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Moira, and then Mary.
this is quite, I mean, without the thought, I just see myself just being completely practical, what needed to be done,
Hmm.
saying I'm phoning from an ambulance, is what I did, walking across
Yeah.
to the phone and knowing what to do. Um, yeah, I think I'm getting a bit stuck on. I mean, if I'm just in that situation, that is what happened. I
Yes.
think I'm getting a little bit stuck because my mind is then going, my mind is sort of going, yeah, but it wasn't okay though, was it? Because he did die, you know.
Yeah.
But that I think if I just really bring it back to that situation, then yeah, and I'm not, if I'm not without that thought, he's disappearing, he's leaving. I'm just in that moment doing what needed to be done, and that's that. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, so it's great to notice what you're what you're capable of, like just
Yeah.
something moves you to do what's necessary there. And it doesn't mean you're not, doing this work doesn't mean you're a robot, you know.
Yeah, because that was the word that was coming to my mind, Grace, was just, but isn't that robotic, you know?
Yeah,
But
no.
then that is what I did. I said, I'm getting an ambulance, walked to the phone. That's, yeah. If I took
Yeah,
out the emotion, I took out the reaction, the inner,
yeah.
that thought. Yeah.
And isn't that amazing that that happens? Like action just it happened, you didn't have to
Yeah.
think about what you just did it. And without all the so like we were saying at the beginning, maybe the body is disappearing. I mean, it looks like it is disappearing.
Yeah.
There's a form completely changing here. And everything that I think it means, like what if I didn't believe everything that I think it means? I might still be uh, uh, like heartbroken, but just aware. Sometimes they say heartbroken open, pretty powerful
Yeah.
death. Mm, yeah, without that thought. I mean, I'm noticing as I go along with you right now, I'm thinking my father,
Mm.
also very
Yeah.
time ago, but I can be so vivid sitting in his hospital,
Yeah.
so vivid. Um, and I just have it's incredibly moving too. It's like I have so much appreciation for him and I can still I wish he had lived longer. I would have liked him to see me grow up more, Uh,
Yeah.
but maybe he is, or like I can talk to him sometimes and just have appreciation or even in the turnarounds, fine. But it doesn't mean I have no feeling at all about that experience. Just wow, such tremendous appreciation, like fascinating in some ways to have somebody so important in your life and then their form is gone. And it
Mm.
happens all the time. It's constantly what's going on temporarily here. Everyone, some people live a long human life, some people live a short one.
Mm.
So just noticing that temporariness of all the things and the attachment, and yeah, I just notice if I wish he would live, he would have lived. It can get really painful.
Yeah, and it gets ridiculous as well because it's
Yeah.
just it's complete fantasy, and then the
Yes.
mind goes off on a whole thing, and it's like writing a script for a film or something,
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's not real, so you have to stick
Yeah.
with it. No, 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 but that was his like 43, that was his cutoff point. But I think it's I mean I've done the work on this so many times, but it feels like that's so current still. It was 23 years ago, and it's still so current,
Yeah.
and in me. And I
Yeah.
don't think I ever worked out how to, obviously on one level you do, I've dealt with it, but I'm not really, or, it's just, anyway, I'm not going into psychotherapy with you right now, but it's, it's the work. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
anchoring in that thing. Yeah, just,
yeah. It's a very powerful situation, so maybe it will
yeah.
you'll never be over it.
Well, I think that's the, yeah, that feels very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that does feel true, and it feels like stop trying to
Yeah.
fix it. You can't fix something like that. You can't,
Yeah.
and it's just you don't get over it. You don't. It's just live with it.
Yeah.
But it's I suppose yeah. There's other worksheets to do on this. I think about
Yeah.
not coping and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's beautiful. It's just seeing all the meanings that I put on it, and then that some of them just totally relax. They just like the
Yeah.
eyes are shooting up and they just go fruit like those fountains when they stop spraying.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow, it's like profound. The
Yeah.
temporary, everyone's got a temporary body. And yeah, who would I be without the story? Poof. Thank,
Mm.
yeah. All right. Mary.
Well, without the thought that Alice doesn't care what I'm going through, and then she goes out kayaking, I was like, well, I'm glad I'm not bringing her down or holding her back, and that's really genuine. I'm like, thank God, I don't have that burden
Hmm.
on top of
Hmm.
that she, kind of takes care of herself and doesn't burden me
Yeah.
with getting bogged down with me, like, or
Yeah.
that um, and then I'd also be able to recognize how stressed she's been and be happy for her that she's having fun. I'd actually be able to care about what she's going through,
Ah, yeah.
which I think I wasn't able to
Hmm. Oh, that's
because it was sort of all about me. And does she
yeah.
care about me? As if she doesn't have anything of her own.
Sure. It's great. It's good. Yeah, so it sort of expands out like, oh, right. Yeah. She has
And
a
I also went back to the past. This is really old, and it's like my father and my brother when I was ill as a younger person, off having fun, not really caring about me. There's this history. And so that gets triggered every time I see this happening with her. She's carrying that whole history. So
mm,
nothing is ever just her and me and this situation at all.
uh
And
yeah.
that's very unresolved, I guess, for
Mm,
me, that particular pain. So
yeah.
I should probably put myself back in those situations as a child and do this same work
Yeah.
um, about my brother and father.
Yeah. That would be really interesting. Yeah. It's good.
It would lighten it up maybe on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love our
thanks.
minds that come up with, an alternate reality that would be for sure better, we think. That would have been if they paid attention or did just stayed home or didn't say the thing or whatever. Milda.
Um, I do notice that I have uh, a huge resentment while trying to check who would I be without a thought. It's like this anxiety is rising even more up. It's unsafe to even question who would I be without this thought because this thought is trying to keep me safe. Like
Mm,
if I will not wonder, I will not get checked or something like that.
yeah.
And I'm trying to sit and I'm trying to ground, and it's like even I get even a headache from trying to do so.
Ah, well, that's good to notice. Even though that this thought is stressful, I need to keep it because
Yeah.
it'd be worse without the thought. Like, it's kind of a lose-lose. There's no way to win in this situation or no way to like feel peace. But I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Just saying like I really, really need the thought. I need to be thinking about this, or I need to be aware of this, or whatever it is that my mind is talking about. I need to be involved, in order to be safe. And I love kind of, you could push the pause button and then come over here and say, is that true? I really need to keep the thought. Otherwise, it would be worse.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder, Grace, does this happen if, let's say, if I was not grounded enough in the second question, like how do I react? Maybe then the resentment rise up. Who would I be without the thought, or it's not connect?
I don't think so. Yes. So just notice how your mind went in like, oh, I didn't do something right in the question three. I should have been more grounded. It just comes when it comes. You know, sometimes it's something doesn't appear until turnarounds, or who knows? Something might not even be, it might even just occur to you later. It occurs when it does, and just trust. It's okay. You're part of the great whatever all this is that's happening. And whenever something occurs to you is whenever it does occur to you. It's okay. So, all right, let's find turnarounds. So, turned around to the self. So just take the other person out of it and put yourself in it and see how that might be just as true. So I didn't want to be with myself in that situation. I don't want to listen to me. Interesting. I can't take no for an answer. I don't care what I go through. I'm forcing the software on myself. And my thinking is serious when it comes to these symptoms. I don't see a possibility for resolution. Hmm. And I'm disappearing. So it's just noticing that, trying it on, finding examples. I don't love myself anymore. My thinking outside my door is unpredictable. So, I mean, just noticing that, and I love that we find examples. How could that be just as true? How could that be just as true? Larry.
My thinking doesn't want her to be with me.
Ah, yeah.
I think is true. I'm, worst possible person to pop up would be you. You're better than me, and oh my
Yes.
God, how am I going to ever? So
Oh,
please don't let it be Grace.
yes.
And then the other one, I don't want to be with myself, is very true. When I was sitting there just all alone, it's like, well, this is not good.
Yes. Isn't that great? This can't be good. Oh gosh.
Right, because then all those thoughts come in of, well,
Yeah,
the reason I'm alone here is because no one wants to be with me.
right.
You know,
Instantly that starts filling in, yeah, in the space. Right.
like was it Lori or somebody talking about camp?
Yes.
They're
Right.
off. And
Yeah. I'm right. They're leaving me in the dust, and I'm leaving myself in the dust. And just how am I doing that? And this is never like with a attacking yourself I love it's a kiss and not a slap. It's just, just aware, noticing. Cindy.
Well, my statement was she doesn't listen to me. And so I said, I and so I said, I don't listen to me. I take it and then fall apart. I don't take responsibility and ask her to stop,
Hmm.
shut down. I mean, so I don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not listening to myself early enough to where
Yeah.
I fall apart.
Yeah. We even say like, I'm having such a hard time hearing this right now. It really hurts. Like it's just here with me. Yeah.
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 I'm ready to sign up for the mother workshop.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It just seemed right. And it's Mother's Day month, and I was like, oh, it's just perfect.
Well,
Uh,
and then I have a mother. Yeah.
right. Yes. Well, we all have a mother, even if the mother was barely around, you've got one. So that's good. Yeah. Myra.
Yeah, I am disappearing, as in my entire identity as Moira of Clive and Moira, part of a couple, part of that unit and that team.
Yeah.
Um, so like this terror
Mm.
is like, what on earth am I? Who am I?
Yes.
Without that. So it's my whole identity. But that doesn't kind of, and it's what I do notice with that, because it's not really making me feel any better. It's just like at this point, but I'm noticing that it's, about my identity. But I just really can recognize the feel this really strong anger that is still there. So again, it's pointing me towards other worksheets, I think, because
Yeah. Well,
absolute resistance. No, God, you cannot effing do this.
yeah.
That feeling is really absolutely, it's kind of like solidified in there,
Yes.
and that's not good.
Yeah.
I can feel that's not good,
But
but
that's,
that was,
I love you use the word identity. I'm so
yeah,
identified with this and I like this story. I want it to go this way.
yeah,
I demand that it go.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is my safety. This is my security. This is my everything. And now that's been taken. Who am I, and what am I, and yeah,
And I had to
where
question
am I?
my security and safety is taken. Is it true? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just noticing. Is it in another person or not? Like, and I know we are very connected with other people, but is that where it lies, the security and safety? But
Mm,
it's all right, nothing wrong. I mean, so normal. Like just I'm identified. That is where it happens, and but ultimately, is that true? Yeah, some things lived me this whole time beyond that. It just there's this story and that
mm,
story, and then the combined story, and I have my unique story.
mm.
And I always like how Katie will ask, are you okay? No, no, I'm not okay. Because I have,
Yeah, exactly. Because right in this moment, I'm thinking, no, I'm not. I got my
yeah,
just, but
yeah,
I also know I am, but I don't want
yeah,
to ignore the bit that is feeling screaming like no, well, maybe not screaming, but you're
yeah,
not okay.
of
You
course,
know it was, yeah,
of course.
but
Right. And this work is really deeply not about ignoring that or kind of
mm,
flicking by it or something. It's just, I'd say definitely, stay with the thing that just noticing that it wants to hold on, and it looks like, you know, him being taken away is
mm,
just so incredibly upsetting for very good reasons and important reasons
yeah,
that I maybe see what all those reasons are and then even question them.
yeah,
Yeah. Like Yeah, this might be going a little quick, but is there anything good that's come out of this experience? Is there anything that's happened that has been of benefit for me, supported me in my journey? Is there, of life? Is there any way this has been powerful, a teacher for me?
All of those things, yeah, absolutely. And I can see all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. But you just notice how it just, when you turn over there towards the turnaround, how is this even a good thing, a supportive thing, an interesting thing that this occurred? Everybody can do that with your moment. How is it okay that it's underway? And can I even, will it just be open, even if I can't find it right now, to how there's something good about this happening? And it's not about right or wrong, like it's the right thing to do to find the good in everything. No, this is
Mm,
just, but when you get really caught in it's all bad, and I'm positive if that's the case, I suffer. I suffer. And I really do want to not suffer. So I'm willing. I'm willing to drop just, I'm willing to drop my story.
yeah.
Yeah. Something, something in me already is dropping the story. My mind just picks it up, and that's okay. So, um, I know we're just about done here today, but turned around to the opposite. You just find that. So I don't want to be with her. I don't want to listen to her. If they're not in it, she can't take no for an answer. That there might not be a turnaround to the other. And I don't care what she's going through. Mary, you're already finding that. Paul's I'm forcing I'm forcing my thoughts on them. So they're forcing software on me. I'm forcing my, you know, reaction on them. Um,
That's a bit,
the symptoms are serious. Um, my thinking is serious. The symptoms are not serious. Just the simple opposite. And yeah, I'd like, these symptoms are serious for me. I'm serious for the symptoms. He does see a possibility for resolution. And he is not disappearing. I don't love anybody else anymore. And they do love me. Yeah, Milda says, funny for sure how symptoms could be serious when they're just symptoms. Right, there they are, just showing up the way they show up. And was, oh, serious. Yeah. And Yvette says, I see the part I play. That's great. Yeah. Any anything else to add about those turnarounds? We're kind of moving fast through them, but beautiful work. You just let yourself find 3 examples of each one. Is just take it slowly and just kind of like, try it on like you're wearing a sweater for a while. That is this one, and just see if anyone kind of hits. Beautiful, my friends. Thank you for being with me. Fantastic work. So many good situations. Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
thanks, Grace.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Lots of love, my friends.